steps up. Ricketts is at the high point. Jones. Aromaterio has a lane. Nicholas Aromaterio, the shot. Scores! Holy jumping! The Italian stallion puts the puck in the back of the net. Mamma mia, Nicholas Aromaterio! So to keep it in and does. Callum Jones for Potts. At the blue line, kept in by the skate of Thomas Maya. Maya. Down low on the half course, he swings out in the slot for Potts. Kyle Potts has it, hands on, now he shoots, scores! Holy jumping! How do you do? Kyle Potts puts the puck in the back of the net. Blades block that shot, and coming the other way is Alton McDermott. He's on the breakaway, scores! Holy jumping! His grandfather, Paul Henderson, must be ecstatic about that one because Alton McDermott just scored his first career Buckland Cup final playoff goal. Has been pulled. The Dukes are in the Oakville zone. Zone salvage. Swung that around. The Blades are trying to tie this puck up. It goes into the corner. The Blades have a chance to get this out. Lions will tie it up. 10 seconds. Gilmore has it at the point. It's in. Tips. Just wide. 7 seconds. It's back in the corner. Ewing's back in. 3, 2, 1. The Oakville Blades. Champion. Holy jumping. Blades win. Blades win. Blades win. The Oakville Blades are Buckland Cup champions.
You're watching Mamma Mia! This is Fire Talk with Nicholas Fiore. Welcome back, everybody, to episode number 14 of Mamma Mia. This is Fire Talk, and joining me on this episode is Atlanta Gladiators ECHL professional hockey player Greg Campbell, defenseman as well. Greg, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and I'm happy to be on here.
All right, so let's get it going. I mean, we're the same age here. I'm doing this. You're playing professional, so we can say not too bad so far in our lives, is it?
No, I can't complain if I'm playing the sport I love still. I'm not sure how many more I got left, but I'm going to enjoy it while I can and until I have to kind of move on to the real world. But right now I'm enjoying playing hockey for a living, and it's great.
Well, 95 born, obviously, and you started with the Oakville Blades, obviously with teammate Ross Sloan, who is now an assistant coach with the Oakville Blades, and that's where the connection is. Let's get something right off the bat, though. You wanted me to ask you something. Who had the messiest stall in the Blades room?
Oh, the messiest stall?
He said it was you.
No, I don't. I think if we're going to name any names, it's Vincent Palermo, the captain of the Blades. But
there you go.
I think I was a close second, but
he said if you said someone else, you're lying. And Craig.
Oh, that's. I'm surprised you said that. That's what he says. He's a little liar.
That's Sloaner, that's for sure. So with the Blades, 3 years, right? 2012 to 2015, 150 games, 101 points. I don't know if you kept track with the Blades in the previous years, but was it different maybe back then to maybe the style of game now in the OJHL?
Yeah, I think just hockey in general, not just in the OJHL, but hockey in general, it's moving. Even when I got in the league, it's moving away from that big, tough hockey style of game, and now it's moving more skill, more speed, and that it's just. I think that's over the years, it just kept gradually moving in that direction. It's not that the league maybe has gotten easier. Maybe I think at certain times, having a guy on the other team that's 6'7" and they can fight, it's a little bit intimidating. But they're trying to get fighting out of the game. I don't blame them. It's for safety reasons, and yeah, that's what I think.
Then you move it on to Union College, right? So, you did your time in junior, and you played 4 years NCAA Division I, 136 games played, 43 points. But remember, you are a defenseman, so those stats aren't too bad. And they were definitely good in Junior A with Oakville, but also in Union College. How did that come to fruition, that commitment there? And tell me about your time at Union College.
I loved Union. It took a little bit for me to get used to that, being away from home and doing school at the same time. So it took me a little learning curve there, but I loved it, but as soon as I got there, I came from Oakville Blade, so where I was an offensive defenseman. And then as soon as you get there, they're all committed to defensive style play, and I had to change my game relatively quick in order if I wanted to be in the lineup. And I learned the hard way where first 5 games at Union, I wasn't in the lineup. I was in the stands, and it was kind of a wake up call in a good way. So yeah, it was a little bit of a jump from junior hockey to NCAA, but you learn quick with all the practices.
And obviously, moving on from college, you found your first professional gig in the East Coast Hockey League in the ECHL. If people don't know, it's kind of, let's say, the third professional league. I would say NHL, AHL, and then ECHL within North America anyways, right?
Yeah.
So that was good for you, and congrats on that. You started with the Florida Everblades and then Allen Americans, and then you kind of found a home, I would say, with the Atlanta Gladiators. Let's start off saying, how honored were you to finally, all the hard work in junior, in college, and finally got that professional contract?
Yeah, it was kind of like a dream come true. You've worked so hard your whole life to do this and to hopefully get to that next level as well. But yeah, it was great. And at the time when I signed you're signing with a team like Florida Everblades, who has a history of a lot of championships and great teams always every year, but also the thing where you're going to go live at an apartment complex where there's a pool inside and there's a pool outside and then the beach is right down the road. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me at the time. But yeah, other than that, it was a great year, great learning experience, obviously getting traded twice, but it was nice to actually find a place that wanted me and a place where I adapted to and enjoyed my time in Atlanta.
The time with the Oakville Blades, 3 years there, how was your time there for, personally, and did that set you up, you think, for NCAA?
Well, going off the NCAA, I always, that's where I wanted to go always growing up. I was kind of a late bloomer, so the Ojhl route was never really in the cards for me. It was kind of until my midget year where I finally just blossomed into a great player, and then took that to the Blades the next year, and that's where I got that. Going off the Blades, I couldn't remember. I don't remember a bad time I had there for the 3 years, even though, especially the last 2 years with the group of guys we had. We were very close. We rarely did anything without each other. Me and Ross were just talking about this the other day, how close we were and how those last years, and even especially the last year, was like one of the greatest years I've played hockey and most fun.
The difference from the OJHL to the NCAA, I've spoken to a few people, and they've said mostly the same thing with the speed, but a lot of other different things. Personally, what did you find different in the style of play from OJHL to NCAA?
Speed obviously was a factor, but you learn that pretty quick in practice, so you kind of adapt to that. The biggest thing, especially in my division, another ECAC teams, they're all huge. They're all big guys. The average height on a Cornell team is 6'3". So you're dealing with men. You're dealing with guys who are ready to make that next level already, and that was kind of the biggest thing. It's just kind of you go in and you don't really know what to expect, and then the sophomore year, that's when you adapt and you get bigger, you get faster, and you're ready for the season.
Now, I guess the easy follow-up is, what's the difference from the NCAA style of play to professional hockey in the ECHL?
Everyone's big and everyone can play. So it's not like for me, sometimes you get matched up with a line. It's not like, okay, I'm third deep pair, I'm matched up with the third line of their team. Everyone can play. So there's no off nights. There's no, okay, we're playing a bad team. Everyone can play, and everyone is able to make that next level to AHL or something.
Where were you, and when did you find out you were signing your first pro contract with Florida?
I was kind of going for a while, because you're talking to so many teams and where you want to go, where's going to be a good fit, but you have no idea. They're not promised you anything. So Florida called, and they showed really good interest, and I wasn't really going to say no to Florida because how nice it is there.
Exactly.
But I was at the airport going to visit some of my senior buddies from school in Boston. So I was about to take off, and then my agent called and said, "Okay, you want to get this done?" And I said, "I'm at the airport, but yeah, sure, let's just get it done." And then when I landed, my agent said, "No, it's official. You're an Everblade." So
there you go. And obviously that was, in a way, maybe a dream, I'm not going to necessarily play in the ECHL, but just a dream to play professional hockey overall, right? Speaking about that, with Atlanta, obviously you got traded a couple times within one season, but in a way that could be a good thing. You get that experience out of the way. Now you're prone to it. You know what to expect. With Atlanta, obviously you want to move up and up and up. I'm sure that maybe is the plan. Why wouldn't it be, right? But have you found a somewhat temporarily / permanent home with the Atlanta Gladiators, so you think?
I would think so, especially the way we left it last year. As soon as I got there, we went on this huge winning streak. I'm not saying it was because of me, but it seemed like the whole team was playing really good. We were the hottest team in the league, and then obviously COVID-19 hits, and that kind of put an end to that. But I don't know, just the way I left it with coaches, with the players, they seemed to like me. The coaches really seemed to like me. And as soon as I left at their exit meeting, it's like, we're going to protect your rights. So I knew right away, as soon as I left Atlanta last year, whenever COVID hit, that I was going to be a Gladiator again. But no, yeah, I loved it there, and I can't wait to get back there whenever that will be.
So for people who don't know, the Atlanta Gladiators are the affiliations to the Providence Bruins in the AHL and the Boston Bruins in the NHL. Now, you have the contract as an ECHL player, correct?
Yeah.
With Atlanta. Therefore, can Providence or eventually Boston end up calling you up, or do you have to then get signed as an actual contract by the Providence Bruins and then you can play, or is it just a call-up system like we're used to?
Well, if you're on a regular contract, which most guys in the league are, unless you're on an AHL contract, your rights are really to no one. So there's an example when I was in Atlanta, there was a guy who was he signed a normal ECHL contract, and he got picked up throughout the year, he got picked up by 5 different AHL teams.
Wow.
So there's no really, unless you're signed with Providence or signed with Boston, you can go anywhere, really.
So, for example, if the Toronto Marlies need a call-up from the ECHL, they can get you from Atlanta, no problem.
Yeah, as long as you're just on an ECHL contract, not nothing to do with the AHL.
Yeah, and obviously you're on an ECHL contract, so
yeah.
That's actually kind of good, to be honest. I mean, even for a call-up to basically have the entire league in the AHL or even the NHL to say, okay, well, we can get anyone in the ECHL if they're on the regular contract. That's always obviously got to be in the back of your mind to say, if I play good, if I show people, I do have a chance, don't I?
Exactly. Yeah, it's basically anyone can see you just watching a game randomly and say, let's get that kid here. So yeah.
There you go. The NHL camp, you went to one. A lot of NHL camps that happened throughout the years, and I believe you went to the Minnesota Wild's NHL camp. What was that experience like? Who was the biggest guy there, the biggest name there, or was it just the coaches? Just touch upon the whole NHL camp experience with Minnesota.
Yeah, so it was called the Traverse City Tournament, which is all the drafted guys who've played some play in the NHL, some haven't, most AHL guys. You just go to, it was in Traverse City, Michigan, and it's basically just a mini tournament. So there's 4 teams in each division. It was quite eye-opening to see the amount of skill that these young guys have and these older guys have, and what it takes to be that gap between ECHL and then even AHL. You can see there's a big difference. But the biggest name there was Campbell on New York Rangers last year.
Yeah.
So it was basically all the guys who just got drafted, and then probably in the first, second round were there. A lot of AHL guys, a lot of guys that I saw that were playing in the bubble that I remember playing against. So,
what's the biggest takeaway you think you would take or have taken from that experience?
Basically, just taking no shift off. From one shift you take off, it's a quick minus, and Luckily, I didn't learn it. I didn't have to learn it there, but I saw some guys who were one of our better guys who looked like guys who would make the Minnesota Wild didn't kind of get cut right away from there.
Anything special? You want to play the game, right? And every time you play the game, doesn't matter who or where or what, you want to play hard and you want to impress. And obviously, you did impress. Seems like a while now, doesn't it? In 2013, 2014, when you represented your country with Canada East at the Under-19 tournament. You played 4 games with the team, obviously. What is it like to represent your country? I mean, is it just something that you really can't take for granted?
Yeah, it's I don't want to like say like everyone says it, but it's something you can't really explain. Like when you first put it on and put that jersey on, and even if it's not the World Juniors, World Champions, but you're still putting that jersey on and representing your country, and just walking out of that tunnel. And we were the home. East was home. Team Canada East was home. It was in Halifax. Like we had all the fans on our side. We were at first skate out of the tunnel and just going to the ice. It was something I just can't explain. It was just exhilarating, and it was just an overall great experience and one I'll never forget.
Absolutely. When you play for your country, I mean, no matter, like I said, no matter what level, it's something that you'll remember for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on to the expectations for yourself this season. Personally for you, what is your personal expectation or goal, and the team overall, hopefully when you guys get started in the ECHL?
One, first, don't get traded. No. I think I'm good there for now. But no, I just just kind of getting into the groove and just overall get more points. You know, I had a lot of chances last year. I played a lot near the end. Just a lot of the goals weren't going in. But as long as we're winning, I'm happy. But it would be nice to see those points happen and be more structured in my defensive zone. I'm still learning that. I'm still starting to put on weight right now so I can handle some of those bigger guys. But overall, just become a better two-way forward or two-way defenseman. I mean.
Absolutely. And it's a little bit harder for defensemen, right? I mean, everyone always says the forwards are getting the points, but so many opportunities for a defenseman to get points too. But you got to work a little extra harder, don't you, to maybe put yourself in the situation on the ice to get the points, right?
Yeah, it's kind of tough because everyone wants your team to win, but you're also wanting yourself to move up to the next level. And so adding, and everyone knows that looking at points and you have high points, people like that. So that's just this uneven balance where you want to win, but you're also like, should I just pinch here and go try and score?
Yeah, but if you pinch, you better not miss that puck.
Exactly. It's tough.
Moving on to the ECHL, what's the news on the return to play? They really haven't announced much. Is there any update? What is the league saying?
As of right now, they're hoping I think there's a vote sometime this week with all the owners. Mm-hmm. But they're hoping for a December 4th start or December 11th start. And I think right now it's just the vote is based on how they're going to keep it as safe as possible because they don't want really a bunch of guys going on a bus, traveling 14 hours, then going on the bus and just sitting in this little small compact space. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think that's what they're worried about right now is how they can make it more safe.
Well, because isn't the travel just like insane for ECHL? There's no flights, correct? It's just all bus rides.
That's what I heard before last year, so I was getting worried about that. But no, depending on the team you're on, if you have a far place to go, they'll fly. Okay. Anything within like 8 hours, they'll take a sleeper bus for 10 hours. But my time in Florida, my time in Allen, we relatively flew everywhere.
So I'm from Brampton, Ontario. Have you played the Beast yet?
Yes, my first game with Allen when I got traded, it was like kind of before the Christmas break or something. So I flew home and then and Allen was in Brampton. I just met them at the game. That was my first game.
How'd you do? Did you just score on Brampton?
I did pretty good, but we lost like 4-3 or something.
There you go. The Beasts are getting a little better. A lot of good teams in the ECHL are stepping up a little bit. When are you going to go back? Do you have any plans to go back to Atlanta, or what's the deal there?
So if we find out this week that the season starts December 4th, December 11th, we're gonna head back mid-November, November 18th.
Wow.
So
it's just crazy what COVID has done. I mean, the OJHL has no plans. The GOJHL Junior B has December 1st. OHL has December 1st. But it's all proposed. If the numbers are more than 500 a day, October, November, which they have been, who knows what's going to go on, right?
Yeah. Well, there's the team in the QMJHL that's had 18 people on their team get tested positive. So
Exactly. So I mean, who the heck knows? It's tough times. It's crazy times. Obviously, you're still here in Oakville, but you want to be in Atlanta, I'm sure, because it's supposed to be hockey season, right? Straight up, and
exactly. Yeah.
You want to get playing, but the extended off season is continued, and the hard work is continuing, isn't it?
Yeah. No days off yet until we find out that there's no season. Then we keep working.
There you go. Listen, Greg, I appreciate this. Shout out to obviously Ross Sloan for setting this up as well. Your friend and obviously my colleague with the Oakville Blades. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me on this episode, and best of luck in the future, and best of luck with the Atlanta Gladiators in the ECHL.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for having me on. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Everyone, that is Greg Campbell, the defenseman for the Atlanta Gladiators in the East Coast Hockey League in the ECHL. Remember to follow me on all social media platforms at Mamma Mia. This is Fire Talk, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Instagram Lives Tuesdays and Thursdays, as well as so much more. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm Nicholas Fiore, the broadcast voice of the Oakville Blades. Mamma Mia.
Now Davis takes it and looks to come the other way. Davis is in, trying to drive, and he will look to go across. Good play to Davis, though, to get it right back to him. He goes down low to Israels. Centering, it's there. Score! Stevie! Steven Whittle scores his first OJHL playoff goal for the Oakville Blade. This game is opening up in a big way for both teams. Ricketts centering, what a pass, Israel's breakaway, the move, scores! What a goal for the Alaska Fairbanks commit, the assistant captain, Harrison Israels, with an absolute dandy. Down low to Lyons, Jack Lyons centering, scores! The double jacks combine as that puck popped up like a jack in a box, and it's Jack Ricketts from Jack Lyons. 6-1 on the 40th shot of the game. It's all Oakville.
Blade Smith hits it in. A chance here can develop, but the Blades will look to take it. And Ricketts finds Israels. Breakaway Israels. A chance backhand. Rebound. Scores! And the Oakville Blades win it here in Toronto. Blades win, Blades win, Blades win.
That was Mamma Mia. This is Fire Talk with Nicholas Fiore. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode.